Hi and welcome. I'm Melissa Feick. In this video, we'll be diving deep into your thoughts and your reality. But make sure you watch to the very end where I share one secret which will help you create the reality that you really desire. So did you know that it's estimated that we think about 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts in one day? Yeah, that seems like a lot, right? And that's even conservative. So why is this so important? Most of these thoughts are subconscious and you're not even aware that they're happening at all. Once in a while, you may notice a few thoughts, but for the most part, you're really totally unaware of these thoughts. For me, the most enlightening part of this statistic was that most of these thoughts aren't new. It's estimated we're thinking about 90 to 90% of the same thoughts that we thought yesterday. This is important since most of the same thoughts we had yesterday were habitual and negative in nature. Why are we predisposed to these negative thoughts? Some will tell you because our brains are designed to take in and register the negative experiences to keep us safe, like animals. This way we can survive in the wild and forage for food, run from dangerous predators, things like that. This is a very basic answer and true only if you're holding on to old trauma and you buy into the illusion that that trauma is still happening. You're consistently thinking and reacting as if this old trauma or thoughts are now happening. In other words, your mind and your body react as if this old event is happening, and it recreates the stories that you keep on telling yourself and others. So if you create your reality through your thoughts and your feelings, you're creating the same reality over and over and over, and nothing's new until you change your thoughts and your feelings. Before I help you learn to change your thoughts and your habitual feelings and thoughts, let's look a little bit closer at this concept. I used to think that the way to overcome those negative thinking and emotional turmoil in my life, was to change my beliefs. For years, I did all sorts of healing modalities that changed beliefs, one by one by one. It seemed to kind of work for a while, but I started to notice that it was kind of a temporary fix, and that there was either the issues kept on coming up, or there was something else, like another layer, another thing I had to work on. And that was getting really frustrating. Finally, I realized that we can't change our thoughts with thoughts, which is really a trick that the ego plays on us. It wants us to buy into, if you change your thoughts will change. We can't change our reality by changing our beliefs or our thoughts. Beliefs come from the thoughts we think. And if we're thinking the same habitual thoughts every day, nothing's really changing in our life. Or the change is kind of temporary. It's not a consistent, solidified, permanent change. When we try to change our thoughts or beliefs, we're trying to coerce the mind. And the mind truly believes that it's living in this past story. So it sees all threats from the past everywhere it looks. The ego's not going to allow the change of thoughts by thinking new thoughts. The ego's got this down. Your thoughts will slip right back into its old habits of habitual, negative, subconscious thoughts and the beliefs that are held there. And it can be really frustrating to keep on thinking these positive affirmations or thoughts will help. When you transform your life, you start to realize that concentrating on changing your thoughts is just part of the picture. And that's essential, of course, but it's also essential to focus on your feelings and emotions. The only way to change your reality is to recognize the old stories and the feelings that you're holding on to and be really present with them. You live on this hamster wheel of unconscious thoughts and emotion, and it just keeps on going. And this hamster wheel just keeps on moving. Thoughts, emotions, because you're reacting to your thoughts, which then trigger a feeling, and the old story of like shame, abandonment, all those shames and abandonments and all those feelings trigger more stories, which trigger more emotions, and it just feels like it's never going to end. This hamster wheel is the actual cause of your depression, anxiety, and illness. The feelings you have create a chemical reaction in your body. I've heard this called emotional biochemistry. These chemical reactions aren't just the dopamine and serotonin that we talk about, because there are 100,000 different chemical reactions going on in your body every second, all the time. This is why the doctors are trying to understand, but they're still missing the key ingredient. And it's not just the physical things that we're ingesting, not just the food, not just the chemicals, but it's the emotional part of us and the biochemistry of those thoughts and feelings as well. If you still have negative thoughts and feelings, you won't fully heal. You won't fully heal from any physical, mental, or emotional issues. Your depression will still be there if you're not dealing with your emotions on a deep level. I believe that to change your reality, you should concentrate on those higher states of consciousness. Those are the things that the gurus and Buddhists and ancient religions and philosophies tell us are available to everyone. I've only found a few ways to get into these higher states of consciousness, usually through meditation and releasing old trauma or old issues that are holding us back. Your reality is directly linked to your thoughts and your feelings. So if you feel bliss, your reality reflects bliss back to you. So I have a client who came to me very upset once, and she was upset because her friend kept on going on all these great trips and had this amazing relationship. She was so angry and mad at her friend because she didn't like her bragging on Facebook and showing off. This is a prime example of how two people have created their lives. One lives in abundance and the other one lives in lack. Now they both have the potential to be in each other's shoes, right? So they both can be either in abundance or in the lack. And the person in lack can fall into abundance, and the person in abundance can fall into lack. And those feelings are what's driving our experience and creating our reality. We create our reality not just by the thoughts that we send out to the world, but also the feelings as well. So my client was showing the universe how angry and upset she is at people who are abundant and who have great things in their lives. Unbeknownst to her, of course, it's unconscious. And that response is telling the universe that abundance is bad and that she doesn't want it. This is how our reality is created, by our thoughts and our feelings. So I'm going to give you one tool today to help you create your reality. I want you to write down 3 thoughts you tend to think every day. So, for example, I would say one thought that many people have every day is something that they worry about. People worry a lot about different things. So what do you worry about? Do you worry about bills, health, family, jobs, the government, animals, money? Just so whatever that is that you worry about, write them down. Write down a couple thoughts. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about what the ego's trying to play a game with you. The key is it doesn't matter what you write down. Just notice the habitual thoughts that you keep on thinking every day. That's the key. Now take each thought and see how it makes you feel. And if you're honest with yourself and really allow yourself to feel the feelings, you'll notice something different. And something really will shift. So what you want to do is notice that these feelings are coming up. And they're just a feeling that you probably feel every day. And it's something that's actually supporting these negative beliefs and these negative thoughts that you're having. So be really present with the feeling and be careful not to get too into the thoughts. You can't think a feeling, right? So you don't want to be thinking a feeling. You want to be really present in your heart space. So be present with the feeling and say, okay, I'm feeling anger. And I acknowledge it, and it's okay. because it's just a feeling. I'm feeling sadness. It's okay. So take notice how many times in the day that you're feeling these feelings and how many times you're thinking these thoughts and how this hamster wheel is being presented to you. These thoughts and feelings come up every day and you're going to be more aware of them. Just take 3 of them. So kind of play with this over the next few days, because to really change your reality, you need to take responsibility for your feelings and your thoughts. It's not just something you can just do once and not, oh, I'm done with this, I figured it out. So thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other videos. Until then, in loving kindness.